So we have basically did some example. We have practiced some example with various combination of these and or operations, and we have seen that how basically the post increment and pre increment or post decrement and pre decrement affect any mathematical operation in a programming language. Now we will go to a very interesting concept in any language that we have. It what we call scope of a variable. What is scope of a variable? You see, before understanding or before writing the exact definition of a scope of a variable, let's try to realize it from an example. Suppose that if I write a program like main, and within that I have declared a variable int a, and this bracket is actually you can keep anywhere. You must manage them properly, but you can also keep any other bracket, other opening and closing braces in a program. So suppose you have written int a, then you have written a equal to 10, and then suppose you have written another bracket, okay, and say here you have written a equal to a plus 1, and then if you print the value of a, and obviously your bracket ends here, so whenever it has opened it has to be end somewhere, and this hierarchy should be maintained. So this will output 11, right? Now if I extend this program a little, and if I do say another increment over here, for example, let's extend this program a little bit. I will write another increment here, a equal to a plus 10, okay, a equal to a plus 1 again I have written, and then again another printf I have given, it will get 12. I should get 12, right? Now you see, if I do this declaration, change. If I change the position of the declaration a little bit in another program, for example, let's write another program, a similar type of program, but I will change the location of the declaration. So I have written again main. Here, suppose I take okay, I take a variable int a, say equal to 1, and then I have done nothing. I have opened the bracket, and here I have written int b equal to say 10, and if I just print a statement, and suppose I have written a equal to a plus 1, and I've written print a plus b. I've done this and it ends, and after this bracket, suppose I have written here that again b equal to b plus 1 now, and again a equal to a plus 1, suppose, I've just done this. It's not may not be required. I've just done this to show you some lines. And here, if we write the same line, a plus b, my question is that what output I should get. You see, if you continue with this output, a equals to 1, so and b equal to 10, so a become 11, so it should be output here should be 10 plus 1 plus 1, sorry, 2. 10 plus 2, that means 12, right? And here b becomes b incremented by 1, that means b become 11, and a become again incremented by 1, so you will expect that now a becomes 3, right? A was 1, become incremented by 1 become 2, incremented by 1 become 3. So 3 plus 11 is 14, because b was 11. But unfortunately, this is wrong. This particular, because of this line, or maybe because of this line, I will get an error message. And what type of message it will show? The variable, it will show a error that it will show a message something like the variable b is undeclared. Variable b is undeclared. Why? I have already declared this variable b. So why the program is showing this undeclared? The reason is the scope. So let's now come to the point that what is the scope of a variable. So let's define it first. Scope of a variable, Scope of a variable defines the area within the program where the variable can be accessed. Okay, what does it mean? Scope of a variable defines the area within a program where the variable can be accessed. To realize this one, always remember one thing, that if we consider the whole screen that you can see in front of you is a memory space of your computer. Within the memory space, some memory will be allocated for your program. For example, if we take this program, the first one, so we will have a memory space something like this. Suppose I'm drawing by a rectangle. So suppose this is the memory space, memory allocated for the main program of this one, first one. Okay, first one. This is 1, this is 2. Now, in this program, you see that A has been declared in the main function. Now you see another interesting thing. that always remember that each and every bracket and corresponding closing bracket that we have, okay, in a program is actually makes the boundary of the memory space allocated for that part. That is, this you can imagine that this opening and closing brace of the main is basically the boundary of this main function, and the boundary of this main function. Okay, and we have another boundary within this boundary, right? We have another opening and closing brace, which will make another boundary within this one. Some boundary something like this. Now, point is that where this variable exists, as we have seen in this program, that this variable was declared after declaring the first opening bracket of the main function and before closing bracket of the main function. That means surely the variable, the memory location A belong to somewhere here. The address may be 100. I'm not interested for the address right now. Variable name I have given A, whose value is, say, initially was 10. Initially the variable value was 10. Now you see, always remember that if a variable is accessed in a larger scope, then a variable will be accessed the scope under those larger scopes also. That means what? So this variable, if I ask you that what is scope of this variable A, you should say the scope of A is the area within a program where the variable A can be accessed. And where it can be accessed? It can be accessed, the variable A can be accessed within this scope, whole scope. Since this A is accepted, actually can be accessed within this whole scope, that's why by default this A will be accessed within the inner scope. So another point here, if a variable can be accessed in in a larger scope, then it can be accessed within any inner scope. Since A is accessed in the larger scope, A is accessed in the inner scope also. But vice versa is not true. That means if a variable is accessed in a smaller scope, it is not definitely accessed in the larger scope. And this is the reason why you will get this error. Because if I draw the same boundary for this, you see what I will get. This is for basically program 1, right? This is for the program 1. For the program 2, if I draw similar type of rectangle I have taken, suppose for the main function again, but this is for program 2. Within this, in this program 2 also I have an inner scope, right, within the large scope. So I will have an inner scope, definitely. And you see that variable A was declared here, where variable B has been declared here. With respect to this, if we draw the location of this variable A and B, variable A is definitely present over here in the outer scope, because here under this one and within before this bracket. But it is not true for B. B has, obviously you can say that under this bracket means under this bracket also, yes, but what is more closer, which boundary is more closer with respect to the declaration of B? Obviously this boundary, the inner boundary, that is the inner scope. So that means the variable B will be declared within this inner scope. So this is for A and this is for B. Obviously this address is within this large scope. But problem is that since this variable is declared within the inner scope, it cannot be accessed outside this inner scope. But since this declared is declared is outer scope, it is easily accessed within the inner scope. This is a very important difference with respect to declaring a variable and accessing the variable somewhere else. And this is the reason why you will get this error, that variable B is undeclared. Because when you are writing or you are accessing writing a line something like this, even something like this, because of these two lines, basically what computer has to do? Computer has to access the content of B. Unless that it cannot increase. But this access is not authorized because the scope of B is limited within the inner scope only. Okay. Now, how we can break this? We will see very soon. How we can break this scope? Obviously, this is a limitation, but we cannot write a program with this type of limitation. So somehow I have to break this limitation, so that scope will not matter. So how do this? We will come very soon. But before that, we must discuss something related with this scope. For example, concept of what we call local and global variable. Okay. What is local and global? In a simple English, what if you say that global means actually it's universal. Universal it means it's actually for all. And local means it's for a particular specific area. Right? So if we define a variable as a global variable, it means that the variable can be accessed anywhere in the program. What does it mean? It means that if we write a program something like For example, if we write a program, I'm just writing a skeleton of a program. For example, you may write like this. Some lines here you have given and you've called a function f1. Okay. Then you have to define this function f1 somehow. You see, since we have not yet discussed about the concept of function, I'm not going in the detail of communication between this main and f1 function. But just for timing, if you see, the skeleton of a program can be something like this. Say within this function f1, I can have another function f2. Okay. So in that case, obviously, I have to define this function f2. Something like this. And it's so on. So I can have n number of functions in a program. Okay, n number of functions in a program. And suppose I want that each and every function should access a particular memory location for them. Some variable. Memory location means some variable. Suppose variable name is A. So if I want to access the value of this A variable by all the functions in such a way that if I change the variable value in the main function, all the other functions can get the updated value of A, and same for the others, then what is the best way to define this variable or declare the variable? Because if I declare the variable within the main function, that means the declaration of the the access of the variable will be limited within the main function only, because we have already seen that is in the scope, right? It will not be accessed in function f1 or f2. Same thing for f1 and f2. If I declare this variable A in f1, then the scope of the variable will be limited within the f1 only, but not in main and f2. Now, one thing is that I will declare this variable A 3 times over here, but it does not make a single variable which is shared by all. If I declare this variable A in all other variables or in all the functions, then basically each and every function will have the same variable name, but their address will be different. For example, that in your class, maybe there are n number of students having the same name, but their address is not same. So name is same does not mean the person is same. Similarly, the variable name is same does not mean their address will be same. Then another solution left, that is somehow I will declare the variable A over here within the main, that what we know, and somehow I will transfer the variable to the other variables which is present in f2, f1 or maybe in f2, and if something I change, I should transfer it, I should reflect it somehow to the variables present corresponding to the variable of this f1 and f2 present in other functions. But it's going to be very critical. If I want to do this, suppose I have something in my hand, I have some some source, some resource I have, and that resource should be shared by I and you and many others. Then what I can do, I will give the resource for some time to you, and again he will return. So a lot of complexity will arise. To avoid this complexity, this global variable came. And global variables say that you don't need to declare this variable within any function. Rather, you declare this variable outside all the functions, so that the function, the variable scope will become global to, that means for all the functions. And why do we declare this? We declare this type of variable somewhere, you can say where somewhere like this. For example, int a equal to 10. This is, you can say, a global variable. Why global variable? Because if you see that I have a scope for main function, suppose this is scope of main function. This is another scope for the f1 function. I'm just following this this skeleton, okay, skeleton of the program. Suppose I have another scope. Obviously, I will have another scope for function f2, which are separately. And I have not declared this variable a within the main function, so that scope becomes limited. Not even in f1 and f2. What I have done, I have declared this variable a over here. So that means a has been declared somewhere else, whose value is 10. Be by this particular line, which is outside any function or outside any scope of the outside any scope of the program. So basically what you can say, it's a global scope. That's why it's a global variable, so that it's visible to all the functions from all the scope. So this is what we call global variable. Now you see, if you just do one thing, if you just write program a equal to a plus 1, it become 11. And when it become 11, everybody, if you print here what is value of a, you will print 11. And then here you can put a equal to a minus 1, it become 10 again. And if you just print it here somehow, then it will print 10. So this is a very useful approach if we want to share a particular variable in various functions in a programming. But it's have a lot of not limitation, I should say that you must use this variable very carefully, because any function can change the content of the variable. So when you are writing the program where you are using some global variable, you must ensure that when you are changing the value of the variable in some function, the change should be acceptable to other functions also. If it is not acceptable for the other functions, then your program output will be something will be wrong. Ultimately, you will get wrong output, and your purpose will not get solved. So this is a thing that you must realize. And just opposite thing is local variable. That is, if you declare the variable within some main function or maybe f1 function or f2 function, then that's limited within the function only. For example, if I define say int x equal to 5, so that means there will be a separate variable location where 5 will be declared, will be stored, which is present within the f2 only. It's not accessed outside this f2. So this is what you can say local variable. Local variable means local to this function f2. Now this local can have several hierarchy. What does it mean? Let's see. Suppose I'm writing a very simple program, say main int a equal to 10. I have suppose written a equal to a plus 1, and after that I have given a bracket, and here I have declared int a equal to 20, and again I have done a equal to a plus 1. Then I have written print f a and bracket closed, and then I have written print f a, then this bracket is closed. So we will have something like this. Now if I ask you that what is the output of this one, I mean what will be the output from here and what will be the output from here, first thing that you will get confused, that first of all you may tell me that it's totally wrong program. I mean it will show an error because I have declared the same variable within a program 2 times, right? I have declared this variable a 2 times in my program. It should not be expected. But interestingly, this is not a wrong program. The question is why? Why it is not a wrong program? So if I make the scope of this, if I just draw the scope of this one and try to analyze what's happening, I hope the confusion will be clear. So let's draw the scope first. I'm sorry. So suppose this is the total memory space of the main function, okay, and it's very easy to see that I must have an inner scope within this large scope, right? So I'll have something here. Now as I have written the code, just assume that these 2 codes should be present somewhere here, this codes should be present somewhere here, this code somewhere here again. So if I just name it that this is scope A and this is scope B, these 2 codes should be belong to A, these 3 lines should be belong to B, and this line will again should belong to A outside this one, right? And according to this, what happened? A variable will be allocated within this scope whose name is A, whose value is 10, maybe whose address is 100. So what you can say that this variable A is local to the function main, right? Because already we have seen the concept of local variable over here, a basic concept of basic local variable. Now after, when this line will get executed, what will happen? Computer will see that this A is written, declared within an inner scope. So computer will allow this. Compiler actually allow storing or declaring 2 variables having the same name but in a different scope, even if they are in a hierarchy. Obviously this scope is in a hierarchy of this scope, right? It's inner scope, it's outer scope. So computer will allow declaring another variable whose name is same and whose address suppose is 200 and whose value become 20. Until this line executes, this particular line realize that okay, this A is actually the A that I have over here because this is then a part of A. So when it's declared as 10 and after incrementing by 1 it becomes 11. So this 10 become 11. And then it will come here, a new scope will be created and within the scope a new variable will be declared with the different address obviously, but name is same, whose value is 20. Now question is that when this a equal to a plus 1 will work, then this a mean which a? Is this one or this one, right? Because I have two a. In this situation, you must remember a rule or a point, a very important point. I can write that if actually let's how I can write it. Actually, I want to explain. I want to say that this particular A will basically represent this inner A because this A is more local to this A. So I can say that if we have, sorry, if we have two variables having same name but in different scope, then computer give more importance to the variable which is more local to the given block, given scope. It means that when computer will execute in this scope, because when this a equal to a plus 1, this particular line is basically present in the scope B, right? So somewhere over here. So within the scope B, obviously this A is more local than this A. That's why this A equal to a plus 1 means increment of this variable, so 20 will become 21, which will be, so if we want to print this A, what will happen? It will print 21. Now when I will come out from this scope, come out from the scope, and this printf is under this A, right? So here in this A scope, this variable A does not have any, existence. The outer scope does not know about existence of another variable having the same name in the inner scope. So basically when you will print this A, you will find result as 11 because it doesn't have any idea. Okay, so this is the way by which local and global variable works. When you will write program, you will declare variable and use the variables in different scope. You must remember or must ensure that you are using or you are changing the variables within the proper scope as required. We have basically discussed all this scope. The most important thing is that, as my experience, I have seen that when you will write a program and you will get some error, understanding the root of the error is very difficult if it is logical error. Logical error means you will not get any error message. Your program is syntactically correct, but your result output is coming wrong. That's logical error. Somewhere you have mistakes in logic, and that mistake may be because of the scope, maybe because of using wrong use of global or local variables and all. So understanding the root of an error, require a very deep or clear knowledge about the scope and all the concept that we have basically discussed. Okay, so when you will write a program, you must remember, you must actually keep in mind about all this concept, and or when you are debugging a program, you should check accordingly whether some variable in a proper scope or not, some variable is using outside scope, then some wrong use of happening or not, and something like that. In this way, basically, if we have a deep knowledge of about all these small concepts, I hope you are going to be a very good programmer in future.